What is up, cool cats of the interwebs? It is your girl Haley back at it again with another episode of your favorite podcast, the Pre-Review Crew, this time for the month of July and August. As always, let me introduce my cast of characters to you. We have Brennan and we have Mike.
What's up?
Oh my god. As always, you know the story, but if you are new here, we are going to review the games from July and preview some games that are coming out in August. To first start off with, we're going to talk about First Descendants for the month of July. It's a co op action RPG shooter. It's developed by Nexon Games and published by Nexon. It came out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series S and X on July 2nd. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is the worst game we've reviewed so far for this year, with a 55 top critic average and 13% of critics recommending.
You know, I thought this would do better, but at the same time, I'm kind of not surprised. Um, 13% critics recommending on OpenCritic. That's pretty bad. But I figured this would hit in the 70s at the very least. But yeah, because what I'm reading is it's generic. Uh, I've seen the word bland. And that it just failed to execute. Some reviews do say like the idea was there; it was a good idea, but the way it was presented and the way that they made the game completely ruined that idea.
So I've been playing this quite I have a couple friends that are playing this. Um and I can understand what everybody's saying, but at the same exact time, yes, it is grindy, but I really fucking love it. It's a lot of fun. Playing it by yourself, I have not enjoyed it all, but like when my friends are like, "Hey, are you around?" and I'm like, "Yeah." We just squat up and go. So, like we're enjoying it. I don't like the way that you unlock the characters. I would say that's my only big critique about it. And I have been playing it casually. I haven't been going like super omega hard at this game. So as a casual player, I have really loved the First Descendant. I enjoy it. It could look better. I will say that. Is that all you're gonna do?
Oh, sorry. Were you hearing my new pet duck in the background?
Brennan, do you have anything to say?
No, my duck and I. Uh, Honestly, when we first talked about this just looked like a kind of like a carbon copy of Warframe. Um, and I'm trying to think. So you mentioned you didn't like the system how of obtaining characters. How do you obtain new characters?
So at the beginning of the game, when you first start out, you get to pick between three. And then after that, it's scripted into the game as to how you unlock them. And you have to find like their pieces and put them together to go ahead and sort of like build that character. And you do it in, like, you don't get to pick. They tell you who you get to unlock. So you get to pick between three your first time, and then the next character that you unlock after that is Bunny. So you run around doing these missions, and by doing these missions, you collect her pieces, and then you build her, and then you unlock her, and then you go on to the next one, and then you continue, so on and so forth. The only thing that sucks is that that means that you are locked to whoever you first picked, and then you are systematically locked to whoever comes next after that person. So if you are sitting there like in the store looking at characters going, oh, that one looks really cool. For example, Freyna, she does poison damage. I was like, she looks really cool. I really want to play her. Where is she on this list? She's like fourth or fifth. I was like, I'm not sitting here grinding just to unlock her for free. So I paid to unlock her. And I think it was like I did like a package deal, so it was like $10 or something like that. But I was like, bro, this is bullshit. Oh, and when you go to pay to unlock a character, they have these like bundles that you can do. I first thought that you got all those characters on that bundle. No. You get a token to unlock one character out of that specific bundle.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little bit confusing how their store operates. I don't think they put great descriptions on there. And like I said, it's just annoying because you have to unlock everybody in a specific order. So you're forced to either grind it out until you unlock who you want or pay the money to get them sooner.
I'm
Which
just trying to think of how you unlocked characters in Warframe. It's been a while, but I vaguely remember just saving up enough currency and just buying them outright, but maybe I'm wrong about that. I can't exactly remember how we did it in Warframe.
I didn't
But
play enough Warframe to
And
really
neither did
figure it
I.
out.
that's yeah, the only reason I bring it up is because it just, to me, looking at it, it just immediately screams Warframe in terms of like the third person over the shoulder looter shooter, fast paced sci-fi. To me, that's just Warframe. But um yeah, I don't know. I feel like the getting the characters is kind of the big point of these types of games. Part of me was kind of worried it was going to be like a gotcha system, so I guess I'm kind of glad that it's not like that. But the system that you described isn't really much better, in my opinion.
I think I just wish that they had like I don't know, just like a bar that was like who do you want to unlock next? And you get like these four characters and then after you unlock those four characters, you can go on to the next set of characters and unlock those characters in any sort of way. Like I just wish that you got the option of who you unlocked, but also at the beginning of the game, I wish they told you sort of the three characters that you get to pick from, their um like their skill set, because I just went with the female because I was like, "Ooh, I want to play a female character." And hers is Ice and she's not bad, but she's not my first choice. So, I think that they could have done a bit better. Um I mean, it definitely mimics Warframe. It takes a lot from Warframe from the articles that I've read online. And I'm not saying that's bad, but I think Warframe does it better, but I like the graphics of this game a little bit more and the storyline isn't as crazy to follow because that's an issue I have with Warframe is I'm just like what am I doing? But yeah.
So, like, I don't know, maybe the silver lining here is that maybe this could be, and I'm trying very, very, very hard to look at the silver lining here, but like maybe it's like baby's first Warframe, not worded like that, but you know what I mean. It's like if somebody who didn't want to get into Warframe but liked the idea of it, maybe this is the easier option, the more digestible option, especially considering Warframe's been out for a long time. And I imagine it's probably really difficult for new players to immediately jump into a game like that that's been ongoing for as long as Warframe is. You have to learn all these characters, all these weapons and stuff. Sometimes it's really overwhelming. But when you have a game that kind of first, if you start a game when it first starts out, it's going to start out relatively simple, because there's not all these new characters unlocking and stuff, or releasing. Sorry, so like maybe this could be somebody's gateway drug to Warframe.
I mean, but that's the thing. I have to agree with what Brennan's saying because like I jumped into Warframe after playing Destiny 2 because Destiny 2 got really repetitive for me. So I was like, okay, I see all these really cool builds on TikTok and on Instagram for Warframe. I was like, let's give it a shot. Let's try it. And I'm still lost. But with First Descendant, it's like everything's new. I started the game at launch, so I'm just like, okay, like I'm basically at the bare bones beginning of the game. And it's going to be easy for me to follow along with it as the game progresses because I was there from the beginning. So it's not like Warframe, you're jumping into it. The game's already developed. Every aspect or feature that they want to put in the game is in there. Now it's learn everything all at once instead of in pieces.
Right. Really quick, want to shout out our dear friend Axel Cushing from Game Luster, who gave a scathing 3 out of 10 review. Artistically impressive, mechanically abusive, and narratively bankrupt, The First Descendant is, and likely will be for years to come, the defining example of how not to create a looter shooter. Damn. Damn, Axel. That's some good shit.
Well, damn.
Oh, James Stephanie Sterling also gave the same 3 out of 10. That's crazy. And she, I don't know. I don't know what James Stephanie Sterling goes by. They said, "I hope it dies on its toxic vine." That's hilarious,
Well then.
dude. Some of these bad game reviews are like some of the reviews are better than the game itself. That's too funny to me. I'm sorry.
I
I'm sorry,
just
Haley. I didn't mean to shit on the game that you like.
no, you're perfectly fine. I knew this wasn't going to be one for everybody, especially since it is free to play. But for what it is, I do enjoy it. You have public and private matches to join, and it's not, you don't gotta talk to anybody. You just go in, shoot some shit, and pray you don't die and have to restart. But yeah. So, okay, let's kick it over to Once Human because this is also a pretty interesting game. It's an open world survival, it's multiplayer, it's developed and published by Starry Studio, specifically on PC July 9th, and it currently only has a top critic average of 81.
Okay, this is the one I thought was gonna do bad this month. I guess I was wrong.
I'm kind of surprised at the range of these reviews though. I did want to try the game when it started, but I have currently been going through um a gotcha game rabbit hole. So my time lately has just been destroyed. So I haven't had a chance to try Once Human yet. But it seems like just a very okay game. Like the range of these reviews is anywhere from a 6 out of 10 seems to be the lowest to an 84 out of 100. So like an 8 to 6 range isn't crazy, and but a lot of them are kind of repeating the same sentiments of it seems like a culmination of a lot of different survival games slash MMOs. Um, Harry Alston from The Gamer says that it has Ubisoft style quest system. Go here, clear an outpost, find hidden chests, a Pokemon like creature collecting aspect with Pal World, animal workforce undertones, and Rust or Daisy esque PvP and seasonal wipes. So, like, it just seems to be like a very eclectic mix of games that are good on their own, and it seems like it's just trying to mix all of those components together. And I feel like it's probably just like a hit or miss for most people. Though one reviewer from Cog Connected His name is Mark. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm so sorry, but he says the majority of the game's content is solo player friendly, which is kind of refreshing to hear.
So I there were multiple times where I was going to start this game and then didn't for a multitude of reasons. And I finally started it. And it's not bad. There's a lot going on. And there's a lot to follow. Also, your character doesn't get pants. I
They
don't
don't get they don't get
they
pants.
don't get pants in the beginning. My girl has a tactical jacket on, a ball cap, but she ain't got no pants. Anyway, so I'm out of the tutorial area and I didn't get further than that. Um, I don't think the game is as straight, like, as clear cut as it could be for players because I found the beginning a little bit confusing. But there's a lot of like really weird and wacky things in there. Like you can have like stuffed animals, and you can wear like a dinosaur onesie, and you can have a little alien guy in a backpack, and like it seems so fun as soon as you get past the uh the tutorial part.
Did you see a school bus with arms growing out of it yet?
No, not yet.
Damn.
I will say though that they have to get their servers figured out because there's just a whole bunch of servers and there's no rhyme or reason to these servers. A lot of them are just full. And like I had friends telling me, "Hey, join my server." I can't join their server because their server's fucking full. So I almost wish you could make like private servers, which I don't think you can, but I didn't look too hard into it. Um, or just expand the capacity a bit more because how the fuck am I supposed to play with my friends when those servers are full?
Yeah. My other question is, did you play on multiple servers while you were playing?
No, I only had one.
Because I wonder if progress is saved server side. Like it hypothetically, you were to jump onto another server, would you still have your character and your base and all that
I'm
stuff?
pretty sure you wouldn't
Oh, that's awful.
because
I hate that.
like that was one of the reasons why I was being told to join a specific server was so that I could get a whole bunch of like codes and stuff like that for gear, and I couldn't get onto my friend's server. So they were like, well, then you're like, if you ever join our server, that character won't have that stuff.
Okay. I don't love the sound of that. I just don't like. I mean, I understand that it's supposed to be a survival MMO, and I guess that's where I personally kind of have to take my foot off of the bus, so to speak, and be like, eh.
It's. So I'm just on Reddit right now, but yeah. Um, cosmetics are all locked, and it's one character per server.
Mm,
See, that kind of detracts because that means if you have friends, you have to coordinate. You can't just be like, "Oh, hey, let's play together on a server." It's like, no,
Mm-hmm.
we have to coordinate and all join the same server.
At basically at the same time,
Yeah, yeah.
which sort of sucks because it's like if you're trying to make a character and get ahead, and your friend's like, "Oh, I'll play tomorrow," there's a good chance that that server will be full or locked by tomorrow. Um,
It's kind
I
of frustrating.
Oh, it definitely is, and that's the thing. It's like I want to play with my friends, and it's like, well, now I can't. And I pulled up an article off of the Gamer, and apparently plans are in motion to allow more than one character per account. Oh, you can only have one character per account and you can't delete them, which makes zero sense.
Oh, that's
Um,
even worse.
like I just the game is fun. I've enjoyed it so far. I think it's cool. I honestly haven't gotten much into it, but these are things that you're spouting yourself as a multiplayer open world survival game, but you're not letting me play with my friends. Like this is shit that should have been figured out before this game released and not
Yeah.
let's put it out and then we'll figure it out later. No, 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 no. I want this stuff on release. Why can't I delete my character? Why can't I move my character? I can move my character in WoW for a couple bucks.
Yeah.
Give me that option. If you're gonna put it behind a paywall, that's fine. Whatever. But let me make private servers. Let me play with my friends. Open up the capacity more. Like, do something because right now you are sticking me in a box with a bunch of strangers, and I don't want to be in that box with a bunch of smelly strangers.
How do you know what they smell like?
I I'm just assuming. I would hope that they all smell wonderful, but you never know. So, and then
Don't know till you get there.
exactly, and I don't want to get there. There was also a rumor going around that since Once Human is predominantly I believe it's a Chinese developer, um, that they put files in there that didn't need to be in there, and that was debunked. But I was just like, wow, people are really reaching for the stars.
People hate Nexon. Nexon's just had a lot of hate.
Not Nexons. It's called Starry Studio.
What? Oh, which was? Oh, was Nexon? Oh, Nexon was First Descendant. I keep getting these two games confused.
I'm proud of you. You also didn't get my joke. I said people are reaching for the stars. Starry Studio. Anyway, we're moving on.
That was terrible.
The next
Not
game
funny if you
is
explain.
don't judge me, okay? That was a great one. The next game is Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess. It's an action and strategy game developed and published by Capcom. It came out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series S and X on July 19th. It has an 81 top critic average with 86% of critics recommending.
Um, yeah, this game actually did pretty good. I think Capcom's really been doing a good job as of late. Depending on whether or not you like remakes, but they've been putting out a lot of really solid games lately, and I feel this is just them continuing to put out games that we can enjoy and that are really living up to the how do I say this? Uh, what the developer is capable of.
I'm glad that this did well. I'm reading the reviews, and a lot of people are commenting on it's a game, quote, full of personality. Is one of the most exciting titles. But then you also have people saying it isn't perfect, it won't be game of the year. So there seems to be again a bit of a gap, but for the most part, it's mostly positive. Um, and even like the negative reviews aren't saying that anything is terribly bad, just undercooked and or wish that they had gotten more of whatever. Um, which is kind of cool. I mean, this looked really unique and visually stunning. So like I'm kind of glad that this scored as well as it did. Yeah. Carrie Brunskill for PC Gamer says it's a gorgeous and engaging take on the tower defense formula. Very cool.
I have been meaning to watch this one played, but I just haven't gotten the chance to. But is it something that I will actually play? Oh, definitely not. It is not my game at all. But it's pretty, and I'm glad that it got really good reviews. So
This is
that's
one I'll probably pick up eventually, maybe like when it's on sale.
this holiday season.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be so damn broke this holiday season.
Aren't we always?
There was
True.
one review that mentioned a demo. I wonder if the demo is still out. But I would definitely at least try the demo, 100%.
Hold on, I have Steam open. Let me look.
Yeah, that's what I had it open too.
I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a demo still?
yeah,
Oh, cool. Well, see, now you can try it before you buy it.
yeah. Everybody can give it a look.
Wow,
Yeah, I'm gonna
what a
order that one.
throwback.
Yeah, wow. Today's just nostalgia central, huh?
Apparently. Oh shit. Okay, anyway. Great jokes, great jokes.
But yeah, this is one of those games. I think. I think one of the reasons I am happy it did well, is I feel this game took a chance, which a lot of people don't try these days. Call of Duty. So it's good to see games that are actually risking it, doing well, and showing there's still space for the unconventional.
Risking it for the biscuit.
Get for the biscuit.
Gotta
Hell
give
yeah.
points for that. Gotta give points for originality. Or at
Thank you.
least, a spin on an old favorite.
Wow. Brendan's giving out compliments today, guys. Everybody watch out. He's coming for your mom. Anyway. What?
I just said, who am I? I never give compliments.
I don't know who this is. I think we're going into Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and Brendan is patient 0.
There goes his duck.
I think my duck and I traded places today.
What's your duck's name?
Donald.
Did you just say Donald?
Yeah, Donald Duck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to talk about games for the upcoming month of August now. Kick it over to the preview portion. We're going to start off with Dustborn. It's an adventure story-driven single-player game developed by Red Thread Games and published by Spotlight by Quantic Dream. It's coming out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series S and X on August 20th. So, honestly, I didn't find any games that I liked, and I was sort of like scrolling through a whole bunch of games that are coming out in August 2024, and I saw this one, and it piqued my interest because your words are like your weapon, and I thought that was super interesting and super cool. And it just seemed really, I don't know, just really, really neat.
Yeah, before we were doing today's episode, I had never heard of this game. I had no idea it was coming out, and this actually looks really interesting. It's got a really nice cel shaded animated art style. Like Haley said, I like the idea that your words are weapons. They show enemies running at you, and you yell stop at them, and they just freeze. And I thought that was a pretty cool mechanic, and it just looks really interesting. Kind of what do you call it? Post-apocalyptic vibes to it. And, if you like the whole social mechanics of getting close to your teammates. I think that's what they show in the trailers. You're able to spend time with people and really build bonds, which, I'm assuming would later on affect things like combat and gameplay.
Oh, so at first I was like, okay, I like the comic book cell shaded. I'm always a sucker for that. Um, that's where I run out of compliments. Um, there's like no gameplay shown, at least in the trailer that I'm watching. There's very little gameplay shown, which doesn't give me a lot of confidence that the gameplay of the game is any good. Um, it might be. I don't know, it looked interesting for like the 4 seconds they show in this trailer, but hard to say. Um, and I had this like feeling of this game feels like they're gonna have a moment where it's the classic. They're right behind me, aren't they? And then there's like the bad guys like right behind. You know that like that classic just dumb fucking Disney Pixar humor.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm getting from this, and I really hope that I'm wrong. I really hope that I'm wrong. And then I made the mistake of checking the comments, and the comments are just tearing this game apart. So I think I'm gonna stop here before I continue.
I
I hate to be that guy. I'm so sorry.
Destroying the game before it even comes out.
I'm so sorry. I should not have checked the comments.
I want to have hope for this game. Um Sort of in the same way that I had hope for that uh musical Greek god game.
Oh no.
But I have a lot more hope for this. Like, this seems interesting. This seems really cool. I'm super interested. Like, this I will definitely be purchasing. I just don't know on what yet.
Yeah, because it's coming out on everything, so except Switch. So people
Which
have
is like
options.
the one console that I would for sure have played this on, but I'm extremely curious to know like what brought this the undivided states and how did they become a thing. Like I'm super curious about the backstory to this and who we get to meet and see.
They have one other game on Steam called Dreamfall Chapters, and it came out in 2017 and it has very positive reviews. So they do have decent precedents for, making good stuff.
Yeah.
I actually remember watching the Rad Brad play that game.
I've never heard of this.
Mm-hmm.
They do have another game. It's called Draugen, Draugen, and it has mostly positive reviews, but it has half of the number of reviews as Dreamfall Chapters. But this also looks kind of interesting. I don't know why. I feel like this is just like they must be like a really, really small company because I haven't heard of any of these games.
Neither have
So
I.
I think Dreamfall has a lot more reviews than any of their other games because their Dreamfall started as a game called The Longest Journey back in 1999. So, and then Dreamfall The Longest Journey and then Dreamfall Chapters was the final game. So it's probably why Dreamfall has a lot more reviews. Um, when I looked them up, Red Thread, I did find the like Norway noir game, and I added that onto my wish list because that does look super cool. So I definitely want to pick that one up as well. Mm, they seem interesting. Oh, and they won a couple awards.
All right, well, that gives me some confidence. It might not look the greatest, but it might actually end up coming out pretty okay. I'm gonna guess, like mid review scores at the moment. With all the current knowledge, I'm gonna guess anywhere from I'm just gonna guess a hot 7.
I'd like to say an 8.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna get about an 8.
But I mean, we'll see. Because it's. I feel like they can go multiple ways with this game. So I'm very curious to see what they end up doing and how it ends up going. Is it just going to be sort of uh almost like visual novel-esque? So, yeah.
We'll see.
I also like that one of the big things I got hyped about is Quantic Dream is publishing this. So,
Good. They got a good track record.
they do, and Spotlight by Quantic Dream is sort of like a third party, like a subsidiary of Quantic Dream that publishes like indie games. So I thought that was really cool, and they've just put out really great games. So I have hope for this one because Quantic Dream backed it. So I'm just like, maybe, but we'll see. So, uh, we're gonna kick it over to Mike's pick for the month is Visions of Mana. I kept spelling this as Versions of Mana. I don't know why. It's an action role-playing single-player game. It's developed by Mike. How do you say that?
I would say Oka.
There we go. Studios
Oka. Yeah.
and Square Enix. It's coming out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series S and X on August 29th. Before Mike starts spilling the beans on this game, though, I would just like to announce that this is the first game that we've seen that isn't coming out on. Wait, it's not coming out on Xbox One.
Oh
I do
no.
not know the reason for that.
It is coming out digitally. You can get it on the PS4. Physically, you cannot. But that still counts as coming out on the PS4. But it's only coming out on Series S and X, not Xbox One.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I really don't know why they're doing that. Um, I looked it up and I really couldn't find a reason. But okay, time to start raving. Yeah, the Mana series is one of those series that's been around forever. It actually started as a Final Fantasy. They did Final Fantasy Adventure back in early 1990s, I want to say. Um, and then that evolved into the Mana series when they did games like Trials of Mana and Secret of Mana and all that. So this series kind of has a pedigree, as far as JRPGs go, uh, which is why I'm excited for it. Um, it does look similar to the Tales games. I know if you've played those before, you'll see kind of similarities that these games have with each other. Um, but yeah, you just watching the current gameplay for this, it's bright, it's flashy, it's looks really really fun. Um, it just looks like a solid JRPG.
I'm in love with the colors. Every landscape shot just oozes color. And maybe one could argue like, oh, maybe it's like overly saturated. No, man, I love that shit. That looks so good. I've always thought that secret like the Mana series has always been like a I don't know how to explain. It's always like a series that I've wanted to dive into, but I never did. And part of me is looking at this and thinking maybe this is the best time. Like, because you're right though, in that I'm at least from just purely watching it, the combat looks really similar to at least something like Tales of Arise. Um, so like, yeah, no, I think that this looks pretty cool, honestly. And it's been a while since the last one. I'm watching one video now that's just it's a preview, but it's the title is 15 years in the making. This is the Mana we've been waiting for. So that's gotta be and that was 3 months ago. So it seems like this is pretty positively looked at so far.
Yeah, this series has a good reputation. I played Trials of Mana years ago.
Didn't they just they did a remake of one of the older Mana games too, right? And
Yeah,
released that like a year or two ago?
yeah, they did a remake a few years ago, but I played like the original Super Nintendo version years
Gotcha.
ago.
Yeah, I remember wanting to try the remake, but I never did. I think I tried the demo. I think I did play the demo. Um, I would definitely, if they have a demo for this, I would totally try this. This looks fun. I'm all for an action JRPG, like party based action JRPG. Love that. That is my jam, dude.
Yeah, I enjoy them too. That's why I like the Tales series so much. So this is just
Yeah.
kind of more of that kind of in my alley kind of deal. Um, and I like the character design. For me, like that's probably one of the most important things in a JRPG for me is character design. If I don't like the way a character looks, I don't want to play that game. Superficial, but that's just how I feel sometimes. And this, I'm liking the character design.
I like the one girl with the poof, with the all of her hair, and then the one wing that she has. That's cool. All the girls have really poofy hair. No, this is cool. The Mana series always vaguely reminded me of like Dragon Quest, although it's not. Obviously, it's not Akira Toriyama, but it seems like it's like trying to emulate Akira Toriyama in a way, and it's like I don't hate it.
I can already tell you that my favorite character is going to be Palomina. She got a fluffy tail and she's purple. She's very pretty.
You going for the furry?
Yep. What can I
Yeah,
say?
this looks cool.
I don't judge anybody's kink, so go for it.
Thanks, Dad. I got nothing to add on this one. It's cute. I just don't think it's my type of game at all.
Yeah, these kinds of games I feel aren't for everybody, but if you're willing to, try it, or if you know you like action JRPGs, this is a really good one to pick up.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess this is gonna be. It is gonna be relatively niche. As popular as the Mana series has been in the past, I don't necessarily know if it's as popular today. So I feel like it's gonna hit the niche side. So like broad appeal, I'd say maybe like anywhere from 7 to 8, and then for the people that like it, I'm gonna say like 8 to 9.
Yeah, I think it would
Because
be. Oh, go ahead.
the kind of like what you were saying before is like I feel like the fans of the Mana series are gonna just naturally like this because it very much it reminds me of how the remake of the last one, Trails. I think it was Trials.
Trials, yeah.
It seems very reminiscent of that one. So like I'm thinking that if people liked that remake, they're going to like this one, maybe.
Yeah, like I think this will do really good in Japan. Like these types of games always do really good in Japan. Um, but yeah, as far as America goes, this really isn't as much. Like this ain't gonna be Call of Duty this year. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
But for those who do know about these types of series, I think from what I'm seeing, it does have promise. I'm thinking it'll score around like the 8-ish areas.
That sounds about right. Honestly, I feel like eight, 8-ish would probably be playing it.
Yeah.
It's safe. I like this though. This looks cool.
Okay, and lastly, for the month of August, we are going to talk about Brennan's pick, which is Star Wars Outlaws. It is action, adventure, and single player, developed by Massive Entertainment and published by Ubisoft, coming out on PC, PS5, Xbox Series S and X on August 30th.
Okay, this is where Brendan has to come clean. I have not looked up a single thing about this game. I know nothing. And to be honest with you, I just I don't I'm afraid that this is okay. So like, think of it. Let's just go back in time. Okay, let's just go back into a time capsule for a second. Brennan is 7 years old. Brennan is playing video games, and he's playing stuff like Ocarina of Time and like fucking Morrowind and all these other just bangers, just solid games. Star Wars never really had much like that. I mean, here and there, you had Jedi Outcast. You had stuff that like you were able to explore, but not a living, breathing world. Something that like Legend of Zelda felt like at the time. Legend of Zelda, Kakariko Village felt like a real place. Okay, and so ideally, I think back then, if you'd shown this to me back then, he probably would have exploded all over. Not even just in terms of graphical fidelity and all that, I just in terms of an open-ish world Star Wars game. But now we flash forward to today, where everyone and their mother, especially Ubisoft, who is making this game, has made an open world game. And while on paper, I would love to love this because it is Star Wars and an open world game, I have to be extremely, extremely hesitant to just say where I think that this is going to fall. Um, in my honest opinion, and again, having seen nothing about it, because I want to go in with zero spoilers, I feel like this game is just going to be a generic Ubisoft open world with a Star Wars skin on top. This is just a Star Wars flavored Ubisoft Coke hand delivered to you. You've had it a million times. It tastes the same as every other Coke you've ever had. It just has Star Wars. It just comes in a Star Wars cup. And you know what, man? Honestly, if it's not bad, I will throw my money at it because it's Star Wars. All of this is to say Brennan's still a giant Star Wars shill. I'll buy a Star Wars cup for $18. Why not? Sign me up, Ubisoft. I genuinely I have no idea about anything in this game outside of just the fact that it's made by Ubisoft and the fact that it's called Star Wars. I hope it's good. I just realistically do not have the highest of hopes, and that scares me.
Yeah, you said everything's Coke flavored. I'm kind of hoping this is cherry Coke. Uh, because obviously, I remember when they announced this game, and like you said, the whole open world thing. Everybody and their mother's done it. If you look at just about any developer today or publisher, they've done some kind of open world. But oh my gosh, like Brendan said, I'm such a huge Star Wars geek that I want this to do good. You know, I want to play a smuggler and go around in this giant open Star Wars world and kick ass and everything, but this one has me torn. This one has me torn for sure.
It really has me torn because, like, again, graphically, I think graphically it looks awesome, and then aesthetically, I feel like it very much, and I've probably mentioned this before, it very much leans into the original, like, 70s aesthetic of Star Wars. And the thing that I appreciate most about The Mandalorian is the Mandalorian also kind of had that same gritty, like low high tech feel of the 70s. Like watching The Mandalorian, out of any Star Wars media that I've consumed since the original trilogy, no piece of media, in my opinion, has come close to mimicking the aesthetic of the original quite as well as The Mandalorian. And I am getting that same aesthetic here, just in terms of like the art style and how like the machinery looks, and even some of the gun designs just are very, very typical, typical, not so typical anymore, original trilogy look and feel. And I really, really, really dig that. Even a lot of these alien designs, they the designs, but even just themselves, like it looks like they didn't take much liberty with how the game looks and tried to keep it close to the original look and feel of the original trilogy. And for that alone, I can appreciate it. I can appreciate it for how it looks. How it plays, however, though, I obviously cannot speak on that. But, it's sometimes I feel like what I'll say here is that similar to Star Wars, because Star Wars isn't exactly the highest literature of all time. Like let's be real, all right? We're not who's kidding who here. I feel like this is going to be more of a comfort Ubisoft game. Like, yes, you've played it a million times. Yes, it's got Star Wars on it. But if it functions, it functions. And this just might be me coping with it really hard. But I don't know. Sometimes every now and then I'll sit down and play an Assassin's Creed for a couple hours. I like the mindless combat and taking over outposts and stuff. Sometimes that's what a homie wants. Sometimes you want to just snack on an entire bag of chips, even though it might not be the best for you, even though you might not have a 10 out of 10 experience eating through a bag of chips. It's still a bag of chips, man. It still might, it's still gonna be decent, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking that this hopefully, at worst, that's what I hope that this lands on. I hope that this lands on some nice comfort food. It's not going to be game of the year, best game ever made, whatever, but hopefully it doesn't suck ass. Like, please don't suck ass. That's all I'm trying to say, because I'm really just trying to say I hope this doesn't suck. Like, it doesn't need to be amazing, okay? It doesn't need to. It just needs to be decent enough, and that's all I'll really care about. You guys know what I mean, though, with the whole like comfort food thing? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that. Sometimes you just want to mindlessly droll away.
Yeah, like, and that's what I hope that this is, because in every universe, in every galaxy, you say open world Star Wars game, and I would just jump off the edge of my seat and go, how much? But like, I'm not. I'm close to. I'm really close to, because I want to be, but I can't. I'm like on the edge of my seat. I'm not quite ready to stand up yet. But for me, this is really going to boil down to, previews, first week reviews, that sort of thing. Unless this is the best game ever made by Ubisoft, I don't think I'm going to get this day one. But I do want to keep my eye on it, and I have kept my eye on it in the peripheral. Like, this is one of those ones where I'm interested in, but I don't want to get hyped. Okay, I don't need to go through a third hinge match where you talk for a couple times, a couple days, and then they just ghost you out of nowhere. I can't do that to another video game, right? Like, I can't get hyped for a game and then ghost it again. Both me and my heart are gonna explode. So
I I have hope for this game. I mean, they made Massive did Tom Clancy's The Division and The Division 2 and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Um, they've also worked on Assassin's Creed Revelations. They've worked on Far Cry 3. So I think they'll be able to do it. I think
I
they
hope
can.
this is I hope this is like the Mad Max game. Did you guys ever play the Mad Max game a couple years ago?
Nope.
No.
Like a couple years ago, I mean like 10 years ago. Jesus Christ. Well, so I think it might have been before or after the Mad Max movie, the original one. Not the original one. You know what I mean? The reboot that came out like 10 years ago.
Going with Tom Hardy.
Yeah, Tom Hardy thing. I could not think of his name for the life of me. I think it came out around that time. And that same comfort food game, that's what Mad Max was. It was by no means, it did not tell a great story at all. The world was kind of dead for the most part, but like what was there was fun. The gameplay itself was just, it hadn't a satisfying enough loop, but its problem was that it just took a long time to 100% a certain section of the map. All I'm saying is that I hope that this kind of channels that sort of feeling of just, it doesn't have to be the best, but maybe hopefully somewhere there could be a niche group of people that really like it. Hopefully it has something enough for a niche group of people to like. I, I just don't want this to suck. Can I say that enough? Like,
No.
fuck, dude.
I'm also hoping this does well. I want to ride a speeder bike all over the damn Star Wars world. So,
Me too.
like, especially because I feel everything we've been getting Star Wars has been lackluster. So it would be nice if this did well, and we got something good out of Star Wars, because I feel we haven't gotten anything good out of Star Wars in a long time.
Seriously, I feel like the last good Star Wars game that we got was um God, why can't I think of the name? The Jedi
Uh,
Survivor.
yeah,
Maybe not the sequel. The sequel got completely shit on. I'm more talking about the first one. First one was really good, although a bit derivative, but still pretty good. Um, yeah, it's been a while, man. So I just hope that this is good. Just make it good. It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be amazing. Just make it good.
especially with all the TV shows and everything. I just haven't enjoyed any of that, so I'm hoping. I want this to
Seriously.
do good, man. Just because I want some good Star Wars. Give me some good Star Wars, man.
The summary of this episode is that the guys want good Star Wars and nothing else.
Pretty much. I
Yeah,
really
man.
don't think it's that much to ask for.
Wow. If that's all men wanted these days, I think the world would be a much better place.
We're not as complex as you think.
See, well, some of us. I can't speak for all of us, but yeah. Most of us are still upset about The Last Jedi, but we're not going to go there.
We're not gonna go there. Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to kick it over to some final thoughts for this episode that I'm going to assume are just going to be make this Star Wars game a good game.
Make Star Wars great again.
I hate it here.
Uh, enjoy that bag of chips.
moral of the story is sometimes, you know what? Sometimes video games don't need to be this grand peak of storytelling and emotional moments and character driven discoveries that make you want to improve yourself. Sometimes it's really just about getting little glowing balls and eating ghosts and killing demons. And you know what? Maybe sometimes that's all we really need to get us out of a little rut. You know what I mean? Sometimes we need a little bit of junk food to get us to kickstart our day, you know? I for one hope that this Star Wars smoothie doesn't taste like dog shit.
Um, to stop Brennan from his next ramble, um, honestly, we're getting to the end of the year. We're slowly winding down into those months, so I'm not surprised that we're sort of seeing a slowdown in game releases. Those always pick back up right around October. So I don't know. Play Dustborn. Play
Oh,
play some other games on here. Play Visions of Mana. Apparently
yeah.
don't play First Descendant. Um
Here goes the trailer. October will be epic.
Basically, yeah, insert that here. So oh, Brennan's duck apparently has something he wants to say.
That was it.
Well said.
Fantastic. We're going to end this episode here of the pre-review crew for July and August 2024. I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and we will catch you back here next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
I love you.